Hey guys, Ash here. I got a cat tree, I have a sunblocker, I'm growing out the beard again because I miss it, and we're here to discuss my 2-year-long pizza diet and what's happened. Now I'm kind of missing a blood test, I think, because I have one here from 2504 2016 and one from 0806 2017. And I got the results from my blood test yesterday on the phone. So I took a blood test yesterday and I got the results today. And there was only one thing we really had to check, so they only sent the result of that one thing. But I think I had another 2 blood tests that are not here, or at the very least I had one. But yeah, let's start, because I think I'm missing one paper one, but that's not too important. So in 2015 I had a blood test to check my general health, and vitamin D was too low. So let's see. Started taking vitamin D. No problem. I also started doing a pizza diet where 90% of my food was pizza. This is due to 3 medical conditions that I have, and pizza helps all 3 of them. So it's just because of that. Otherwise I would not recommend it, because if you eat just one food, then within 5 years it's gonna become toxic to your body, and you're also gonna become addicted to the food, so you can't stop eating what's killing you. So yeah, don't do this. I know what I'm doing. Just don't do what I do. Okay? And I got a new doctor by the time that 3rd month happened. So if we check the blood test here, I think this is not the blood test I had back then. No, this measures I am Bactris positive, and that my phosphate, that is alkaline, was 30 points too high. But anyway, I think it was that 3 months after I started vitamin D, we're testing it, everything seems fine, but the phosphate is too high. I'm just wondering why the vitamin D is not listed here. Did I forget to check that when I asked for a full health check? Could be. I never actually bothered to look for vitamin D here, but I'm not seeing vitamin D on the list. But whatever. If I remember, it was completely normal and the vitamins helped. But yeah, because my alkaline phosphate was way too high, he said to wait 1 year and get a new test. So that's what I did here, and that's approximately 3 months ago, which would be 14 months after this test said I had too much alkaline something. So 14 months after that test, we took a new one to make sure that my liver was okay, and my alkaline phosphate was only, about 10 points too high, and that's within the normal range, because there is no range. Like a lot of these things, if I look at reticulocytes, then for instance you should have 0.02 to 0.08, so there's a range there. But for this phosphate thing, it's only 105. So plus or minus a few from 105, that's what you should have, and that's okay. But on this test my doctor found something that stood out, and it's my S-folate is at 3.0. It should be at 5.7, and that's too low, of course. But other than that, here it tests vitamin D, 67, and it should be between 50 and 150. I remember seeing 67 on the previous blood test, but let's double check, go down the list. S vitamin D, let's see, 61. Yeah, it was actually on the blood test, 61. So it's become 6 higher over the last year. That's pretty good. And let's find that message for the next blood test. I don't want to reveal too much stuff, and yeah, it can't focus, but if I translate, it says, "Hello. The level of B vitamins are now satisfying. Sincerely, your doctor's office." That's what it says. So After 2 years on the pizza diet, we don't see any notable changes in my health really. But for the past 3 months or so, I've been taking this thing. Of course, let's try to manually focus and see if it wants to do that. So yeah, I guess this is a vitamin B complex or something. I think it's folic acid. Not quite sure if that translates right, but yeah. These are now the 2 things that I take every morning. 1 of this, 2 of that, and now I'm normal. Crazy thing is the vitamin D actually affected me a lot, reducing my fatigue, reducing the amount of seizures I had. The folate thingy, or vitamin B, whatever, I didn't notice any effect from that, so I have no idea if I need it. I don't know. But of course you want to know, hey, how's the body? Not just the blood, but how's the body? Oh yeah, I should probably have mentioned it, but in all of these, my cholesterol is completely fine. I mean, that's the one thing people say, oh, pizza is so fattening, oh my god, can't have so much pizza, cause, oh my god, the cholesterol and the fat, blah blah blah. No, I've checked the nutritional info, and pizza is actually not that fattening, although it has way too many carbs, but it doesn't have too much fat. So yes, HDL cholesterol, let's see, 0.6, and it should be 0.8 to 2.1. If I remember, this is the bad cholesterol, so I'm below the minimum, and that's good. Let's see, LDL cholesterol, which is the good one, is at 2.8, and it should be at 1.2 to 4.3. So good cholesterol, perfect. Bad cholesterol, super low. And that's the old one from 2016. Let's see about the one from 2017. HDL cholesterol 0.7. So again, lower than the minimum, which is good. LDL cholesterol, which is the good one, is at 3.3. So that's increased as well. Both cholesterols have increased. The bad one by 0.1, the good one by 0.5. So, as you see, cholesterol's fine. And I guess it's higher because I've been snacking a bit. You know, on some cakes and stuff. Why not? I owe myself a banana cake with some nice frosting. Oh, the lighting is not good today. But yeah, now I can go into detail on the actual diet and how it's worked, how I've stayed healthy, how the vitamins are working and so on. Because people will immediately assume that pizza is just bad because that's what they've been conditioned to think by their mothers, right? I mean, my mother can't be the only one who said, oh my god, you can't just eat pizza when you grow up. But she did, she said that always, and now I'm proving her wrong because fuck her, I suppose. But yeah. So, first of all, I have an eating disorder, right? And it doesn't reject pizza nearly as often as any other food. It's only rejected pizza twice in my life. And essentially when I try to eat food that my body does not want, it dry heaves instead of swallow. Yeah, it becomes the reverse. Even though it feels like I'm doing exactly the same thing as before, it's actually going up instead of down. And it ends up with me pushing the food out of my mouth and just completely rejecting it, so I can't actually eat the food. Not to mention that to even get to that point, I need to make myself incredibly uncomfortable and overcome several hurdles to even be able to lift it up to my mouth. And at that point it's just, no, it's in vain. I've only done that once and I'm not pushing myself to that limit again. I will not go to that limit again, because it feels terrible. It's like torture and I don't want to do that. I'll rather just eat pizza all the time and occasionally have something else. That's a way better solution. And that's why I keep noodles as my emergency food, just in case I can't eat pizza. I'll have noodles to make, no problem. Or tomato soup. You know, stuff that can be stored for years, no problem. But number 2 is that I have fatigue, which is essentially a chronic fatigue disorder, but it's not quite been diagnosed, but it hasn't been disproven either. And it just means I'm exhausted all the time. And blood tests that I've taken, they don't say I should be exhausted. Brain scans say, you know, you might be, you might not be, but there's no real reason to be. And the psychologists say that I'm likely to be exhausted because, well, I had a fucking tough life. I mean, the 7 great sins of my life were all things, well, 6 of those 7 were things that other people did to me. And the 7th was dealing with Bechdrev's disease from the age of 7. You know, from the age of 8 I got the first serious symptom, but the small symptoms began at the age of 7. And it's essentially arthritis on steroids. It's like 3 times worse than arthritis. So of course, it makes sense that I'm completely worn out because the first 21 years of my life were really fucking tough due to those 7 things. Then I also have paralyzing seizures, which one psychologist says is another alternative of the exhaustion, just when it's more severe and the body needs and demands rest. But it also feels like they are completely different, and the seizures can be triggered very clearly by doing the dishes, and I hate that. Like, I used to be able to do dishes just fine, but once this illness got really bad, then the more I tried to do the dishes, the more I would have seizures. And so doing dishes is very, very bad, and that's how my dishes ended up piling up to the point where I had a problem. Now I have a portable dishwasher, and I need a plumber to get it to work, because whoever rebuilt this apartment 5 years ago, they used some really cheap shit and not anything up to code, so nothing is standard, and I have to replace the shit so I can get standard fittings that will actually work with the dishwasher. I shouldn't even have to do that, because I'm not allowed to live here for too long, but I have to do it. I need to get over the dishes. But you know, pizza doesn't leave anything to do, really. It doesn't leave anything to be cleaned. I use the same non-stick pan over and over again, and if it ever looks like it needs washing, or if it smells, go and fucking clean it. And it's always just by looks. I've never had it smell. It's only been like, oh, I can see some remains there from the pizza juice, okay, let's go clean it. But it's non-stick, really, so it's easy to just empty it upside down over the sink and then look, is it clean? Yeah, clean enough. And that really helps me overcome these 2 problems here. Not to mention that the food itself helps me overcome the eating disorder. And it's phenomenal. But of course, I know I can't live on pizza alone. Like, what's the nutritional info on the package? It's shit. Like, it doesn't even have enough protein, I think. So I tend to try and remember to get a protein shake down every week, but sometimes I forget. And yeah, occasionally I do have a bit of a pain in some muscles, especially the back because of the Bechdrev's disease, but I think it's a muscle-related issue where I haven't consumed enough protein. So I do genuinely try to remember to actually take my protein shake. Don't always though, but yeah. I probably take 1 or 2 a month when I mean to take 4 a month. But hey, I don't move much, so my body can at least sustain what it has for a very long time. But what I do for vitamins is I drink a juice that I think tastes wonderful, and I have 1 to 2 of I have 1 to 2 of them every 2 weeks, right? Because I buy my groceries every 2 weeks or so, sometimes every week, and I try to always have 1 of those bottles in the fridge. And if it's really low, or if there's nothing left, then of course I buy a new one. And this juice has notable levels of vitamins on it. It actually says that on the back, that it has the daily needs for you in just a few glasses. So that's what I do. I just sip from it a few times a day, and that keeps my vitamin levels high enough to resist illnesses. And I basically never get sick. If I remember right, I was sick once the past year, maybe twice. Like a cold during the winter perhaps, which is normal, just a mild cold that lasts a week and then it's over. I tend to get that. Sometimes I don't. And a few weeks ago I had a thing in my throat where it really hurt to swallow food, but that went away after 1 night of sleep, so 1 night's sleep and poof, it's gone. So really, I never really get sick. And I know that when I get sick, I just need a bag of peanuts to get my zinc level up, and boom, back to healthy again. Of course, it also helps to eat bananas and apples when sick. But yeah, that's basically what I do. You know, supplement protein via protein shake, supplement vitamins by juice, and sometimes I make myself an amazing taco dish. I mean taco gratin burritos. That's my own recipe, my own invention. I freaking love it. It's the best food in the world. I would eat that constantly if it didn't have so much cleanup afterwards. But yeah, I tend to make that every other month, and it's freaking awesome. And then for 3 days I'll eat nothing but those burritos, and it's amazing. It's really freaking good. But I don't think I do anything else really. Like occasionally I'll try to have some fruits and vegetables, but my body hates them. Like I love broccoli, I like carrots, but my body really fucking hates vegetables. And that's the thing. As a psychologist said, once you have a certain number of illnesses, the body's in control, not the mind. Like you control how the body moves, but it controls how you feel, and to an extent it limits how you can act. It says that's okay, that's not okay, that's maybe okay. And you have to go by what the body says, and if you disobey, then boom, you have seizures. Not good. So yeah, I really want to eat more varied, but I can't find the stuff that's easy enough to clean up and convenient enough to the point where I want to put away the pizza. But I have cut down the pizza to about 80% instead of 90%, so that's better. And it's probably because a few months ago I actually found a video series on YouTube where people eat all kinds of crazy stuff. Like it's called Freaky Eaters, and there's a pizza addict there, and it's to the point where he is addicted to pizza. He needs it to function normally, but it's also killing him because he has become, well, pizza has become toxic to him. And I don't want that to happen to me, because pizza is some of the best food in the world. So I really want to reduce the amount that I eat and have more variety so that doesn't happen. Because then my 3 medical conditions will stay calm. I mean, the 2 of them are just the worst. They are in my top 3, so I want to keep those 2 in check as much as possible. And right now my life's okay. As long as I don't have any work to do, I don't feel it bad. Because hey, it's only when I'm physically active that my medical conditions actually act up. Probably because I starved for 4 months 3 years ago. 3.5 years ago. It was around when it started, really. Or about when it ended. No, it was in the middle. 3.5 years ago exactly is in the middle of starvation. That was terrible. I hope I never have to do that again. Starving for 4 months is terrible, I can tell you. It leaves permanent damage on your body. You get all kinds of scars. Not good. Not good at all. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed my, basically, summary of 2 years of being on a pizza diet, where the majority of what I eat is pizza. It's going well. And I'll keep doing it until I notice that I have a bad lack of energy, or until my body hurts a lot. Then I'll try something else, like... I am aware of my health. Other people are not. Other people don't go to the doctor for crazy shit. Like, I go to the doctor a little bit more than I should, not a crazy amount. Like, I went there for the throat thing that really hurt, was very severe, hurt all the way down to the chest. But turns out it just went over after one night's sleep. So yeah, didn't need to do that. And then the chest problems, those I had for 3 days, then I went to the doctor. And turns out that was fine too, and if I had waited just a 4th day, then the pains would have gone down, so oops. Me. What's up with me? I don't know. The chest problems were from consuming too much sugar though. Like a few kilos in 5 days. So, shouldn't have done that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed, thanks for watching, see you next time, bye bye!